Hi everyone, it's Evelyn from Twin Flames 3344. It's really late here. I'm going to try to keep it quiet. I did this read earlier today, but I really wanted to get it out to you. It's been a day today. Some really cool things happened, and I reached out to my twin last night, and I was really good most of the day about reacting to things. And then, of course, I cried. So it was very cool, though, today. It was very rainy this morning, and I'll get into that as I get to that in the read, because it was all in sequence, but and I'm getting a little bit tired, so bear with me. It is, it's still March 29th for a little while, 2020, and the 29 is the Three of Wands, staying present to the moment. And the 29 is also an 11, being very visionary and spiritual. And the day adds up to 37, which is the King of Cups. So the King of Cups, unconditional love, and being present. Okay, so the read was done this morning. I'm sorry, it's not the 20th. I'm looking at the wrong page. And it's not the 29th, it's the 30th. Starting out in the wrong place. Okay, sorry about that. So today's the 30th, which is the 37. The 30 is the Four of Wands. So yesterday was the Three of Wands. Today's the Four of Wands. The 30, the 4, the structure, the lower energies of manifestation for survival on this planet, and the unconditional love of union as well with the 30 and 37. The read was done at 12. It was finished at 12:51 to 52. And the cat is back on my deck. It was very funny this morning. I was in the kitchen, you know, doing my thing with my juice and my decaf and my vitamins and stuff. And the cat was out there laying on one of the pillows that was on the ground on the deck. And he stares at me. But then as soon as my son came in, my son looked out the window, the cat like totally turned away from him. And then when Matthew walked away, the cat looked at me again, but he didn't turn away from me. It was pretty funny in the way it was communicating with me as versus the divine masculine. So I was dealing with the cat this morning, and then I'm remembering to do some things I had to take care of, but also not jumping into things, remaining calm before doing things, redirecting your energy, going on to something else. So you don't worry about one thing, focus on something else that's going okay and that you know you need to take care of. And then I finished the read at 12:51 to 52. That's the Hangman, and 51 to 52 are the King and Queen of Swords. The major arcana were Ascension, which is the world, and Abundance, which is like the Empress. Before the read, Karma came up, which is the Judgment card, and after the read, the Tower and Reason came up. Reason is the Emperor. So you have the Emperor and the Empress here in the major arcana. We had 2 swords, 3 pentacles, 3 wands, and 1 cup. So mostly pentacles and wands, which has to do with work and being busy, passionate, running around, working out. And then we have the Page of Swords, the Page of Wands, and the Page of Cups, so very pagey. And then before the read, the Queen of Wands was also there. So we had 3 pages and the Queen of Wands. We had, as far as numbers in the code line, we had triple 3s and double 2s. And the code line was all about the number 10. The other numbers, 78 was significant, and 810, which is the 81 with 0 behind it, which is the end of karma. And also 57, the 3 of Swords, 23, the King of Wands, 34, the 8 of Wands, and 45, the 5 of Cups. Again, the code line was all about the number 10, and the only numerology card that was on the code line was the card Environment, which is very much about the green environment. But today the EN was covered up in environment, so it's coming up around environment, very obviously about virus. And for me, EN as well as the capital N is code for Jesus. So it was saying Jesus environment. So we'll get into that more in just a second. So the code line about environment and number 10. Regarding Sophia and source energy, source fidelity, also fiction, crying and transmutation of the body. Like I always tell you, the kidneys and the liver, they're basically natural transmuters, right? Just like we transmute energy, we also transmute our nourishment, and then we pee it out and poop it out, right? So that always comes up as a transmuter. But here it was coming up in conjunction with crying, because that's a way of ridding your body of toxins, right? So Sophia, the feminine collective energy as source of fidelity, cries a transmutation of toxicity. So crying releases your body also of those toxicities, so it's reminding you of that. And the dance of bridging to the high vibration, your destiny. The bait gate fate. Bait gate fate. So styes were coming up in the code line, as well as a stiff chakra system, and the stiffy dance of the bridge or gate and the high vibration of destiny and fate in your environment. So Jesus, regarding the virus on men and toggling up. So it was like them coming through to tell me that this is Jesus's way to get the men. The virus was a way to get the men to start toggling up and getting serious about this. A poor dancer was coming up, as well as a fated getaway. But again, the parallel between crying and transmutation was coming up. When you have to pee, it's like crying. The BUN dance, because BUN is a marker of urea going through your kidneys. And the dance of transmutation, bridging gate 10 was coming up. The release of water in order to leap and end karma. Release of water to leap, to convert, and to reduce swelling. Even in balance of water, remember that as much as too little water will dehydrate you and give you a headache, too much water will harm your electrolytes in your heart and give you a heartache. And realize they're both HA. Ha! The aha moment, HA. H is also the two chairs together, like someone sitting on someone's lap. It's that perfect fit. And the A with the line, like, is like the vaginal canal with the hymen closing it off. Okay, so that was coming up here too. And also 8HA is 8-1, which is 81, again, the end of karma. So even the balance of water, too much harms the electrolytes in the heart, too little dehydrates and gives you a headache. So head or heart. Also the renal function, kidney function was coming up, and then kidney beans. Perhaps also renal functions, because the BUN test came up. And also Kentucky Fried Chicken was coming up. The Kentucky Fried Chicken test, saying somebody's a Kentucky Fried Chicken. And the renal BUN, and then sticky buns were coming up, and hot potatoes. So someone likes buns or butts and toes. They think they're hot. And then with the lap dance and the hymen being re-virginized was coming up with that aha moment. So unless it's a perfect fit, a perfect complement, there's no access. And that's why they were bringing up the hymen. Let's see. So some of the stuff that was coming up online. Fi's dance. And that was coming up from Legend of Zelda on YouTube, 3314. T.I. was coming up dancing on YouTube, 83108. NCT 10 choreography. Taki, Taki, from 121418 from YouTube. And that was Selena Gomez. Biggest new Ben 10 toys collection, giant surprise egg opening. Another header was Verizon Fios TV to carry Big Ten network, and that was coming up from Penn State. Another Big Ten conference, the big10.org, that was coming from. And then a triple treat. Winston's 27 leads Michigan State past Ohio. And then DetroitNews.com. And that's interesting because Detroit just came up yesterday, the day before. And Detroit never comes up for me. So that's significant for somebody. Also from ResearchGate.net, another PDF came up, but it was all in German. It was UNTER, and then GE and EIG was the significant code there. NE10, I'm not even going to try to tell you the title. It was all in German. But then the next one came up was Three Blind Mice in the German translation. So, and that was from Linguee.com, LINGUEE.com. So Three Blind Mice, and it's very interesting because in one of the reads I did, I don't think I presented this one though, I had 4 blind mice around the masculine, like all the different kings were coming up around him. And they were coming up as the 4 blind mice. So 3 blind mice came up here in German translation. And then another header came up with introverted feeling versus introverted thinking, FI versus TI. That was from personalityjunkie.com. And then INXP was coming up high TI and FI. So typologycentral.com was that one regarding dominant people constructing and how they view the world. But they were stating that they were very similar. That in this case, the TI and the FI, the TI as a logical FI. And then Bronwen came up, BRONWEN. TI again, AFI. So TFI from YouTube on 11/18/16, which was a Welsh single album, and the album was called Home, and the TFI literally means you and me. How precious a lifelong relationship is, and she was referencing her grandparents in the song. Okay. Okay. So then the site typeinmind.com came up, referencing personality types like TISENIFE. That was the example that first came up. But there's all different combinations. T is thought, S is sense, N is intuition, and F is feeling. And then the second letter is introvert or extrovert, and each of the different categories. So there can be multi-different combinations. But that one was coming up, TISENIFE, those personality types, from typeinmind.com. And then the type TC came up, TISE, that specific type came up. If you want to look it up, you can. So people think and feel, used to, in that personality type, TISENIFE, think and feel are used to make decisions, whereas intuition and sense are used to process information. And again, like one is the introverted thinker and the other is the extroverted sensor. So a lot about that stuff was coming up. And then the code EIG came up, the acronym, which for me usually means bridge or gateway because it's the Euro-India gateway. But the meanings for EIG were to have, to own, present, imperative, and I, right? To own yourself, basically. So going back to the code and environment, Sophia, the introverted thinker, introverted feelings, crying, a BUN dance, which has to do with processing urea through the kidneys, and dance is also the 8, or the 2 chairs stacked on top of each other, which is an H, like in ha, and then the I is like the 1, so the 8-1 again, the end of karma, and the ha moment. And that's perfect. The ha moment is the end of karma. To have, to own, present, be present, imperative, the I moment, the I am moment, the Sophia source feeling, a dance bridging ownership to I am presence of a higher vibration. So bridging yourself up to your I am presence. Sophia bringing Jesus or the divine masculine out of a toxic environment. Sophia, introverted thinker and feeler, and uses crying and BUN transmutation to dance across a bridge to high vibration to their I am presence or pre-sense. So before you sense is the I am presence, right? So your higher self, completely above your 3D self, okay? Before you can even sense in your body is the I am presence. So also the stiffy cryo dance was coming up, like a stiff body, because cryo is cold, right? It's like frozen. So the stiffy cryo dance to own the I am presence. And I was getting a stiff chakra system too for the masculine. So there's a dance of the dead, literally. When you have a stiff chakra system, you're dead. Dance of the dead, meditation, use your I am presence. You are not your thoughts. You are pre-cognizance. Okay, so you're not your thoughts. You are your I am presence, your presence before you came into this body. So we start this wound. This is a wound because we're always wound clearing and bringing up new wounds. And definitely was a reference to a wound for me when my first love from high school broke up with me because his ex forced him to call me and break up with me. So after processing all that breakup and everything, after he just told me he loved me, then he came back and told me his ex made him do it, which obviously nobody can make you do anything, but you know, kids in high school. So going through that, and I also realized this year that I probably have an issue with being on phone calls because of that, because he broke up with me for no reason over the phone, which wasn't a breakup because then we didn't break up, but I went through the pain of going through a breakup. So there was an issue with the phone there, because until I started on this journey, if I was on the phone more than 10 minutes, I had to go to the bathroom automatically. So it's definitely an issue with being on the phone, which I'm sure there's other things too. But a reference to that wound from your old boyfriend or high school relationships may be coming up again, because definitely me reaching out to my twin and what he said in return to me was very hurtful. Definitely brought back the ex forcing my boyfriend in high school to break up with me. So there may have been like his wife or his ex pushing him to make that call, right? Or make that message, whatever it was. So definitely a wound that needs to come up. So starting with this read with the Seeker of Orbs, which is the Page of Swords, news, message, and after the Queen of Wands looks or goes back or is living in the past to recover from exile, from destitution, injury, or illness with judgment. An announcement or wake-up call with the Page of Wands, who's inspired to dance, perhaps with a defensive end or someone who's just defensive, or the virus. This Five of Swords is definitely coming up as the virus, and the Chariot for me reversed is coming up as the state of emergency affairs. The King of Swords and or the Emperor reversed, they are coming up as two separate energies here because the King of Swords is upright and the Emperor is reversed, are out of control or with an ill parent, suffering in silence, and implementing a plan with lover and or affections between them and the Emperor reversed, which can be a father or a father-in-law or a grandparent. The King of Swords and the Emperor reversed, perhaps uncontrollable suffering, perhaps lost money on an investment in a lover, or lost money on a lover or affection of someone. So it doesn't have to be a lover, it can just be a relationship of close affection as well. The Page of Wands, child suffering, and juggling, performing, balancing act, losing savings on defensive lover, enemy trying to take him down. The Five of Swords, enemy or defensive or virus at war with the Empress, perhaps a death or end. And this definitely can be between a Scorpio and a Taurus here. Some kind of end, change, transition, or transformation. Aquarius upright, Taurus upright, Scorpio upright, Aries reversed, Gemini upright, and Libra upright. We're all coming up right here. The Dark Knight going back to an Empress or Taurus who's defensive, going through internal war, or going back to fight the enemy over the Empress or Taurus. The King of Wands is upright, sharing or settling out. The worst is over, of bleeding out, dead, over, done, with a message. The King of Wands with swords pinning him to the glass ceiling or killing him to settle out, but would never let anyone see it. Watching the drama play out like a Hamlet scene or Romeo and Juliet and the poison, cutting off their lives to spite their love. The glass ceiling is very painful. In sharing above, little lizard on the King of Wands platform watching his money clip slippers, right? So that's indicating, you know, some of your kids just want your money, or even could be a grandparent that they're looking at. They're kind of sucking up to them to make sure they're putting their inheritance or will. So 236 comes up, which is the High Priestess, and the 36 of the Ten of Wands. And I just want you guys to know that I did this read before I communicated with my twin today that made me cry. So I waited till I did all of this. I had no idea what the reply was until I finished this, because I didn't want it to taint the read. So 237 is the High Priestess, and the 37, which is the King of Cups. Transmuting, transforming, 3D to 5D, that love isn't painful. It's the without love that's painful. Not loving self first, allowing a smooth transition to naturally play out. The King of Wands having trouble leaving the 3D child or reptilian-minded people behind. No control in what happens to them. Relinquishing control, that control is an illusion. If your 2-year-old, if your 20-year-old, if your 40-year-old, if your 60-year-old steps out into the street in front of a bus, and when I wrote bus, I wrote business, so I don't know why that came up. But if you step in front of a bus or a business, maybe that's getting in somebody's way. So if anyone, doesn't matter what age they are, if they step into the street in front of a bus or a business, how is that in your control? It never is. Let the universe take care of it. Or the King of Wands is looking down on others, judging as bottom feeders, pond scum, the scum of the earth, or perhaps judging himself for playing the part of savior, for there are no victims without saviors. All a balancing act. Deeds and actions. Decree. The ACT test was coming up, so some kids may be taking the ACT right now. I don't know what the timelines are, but that was coming up. The Page of Pentacles, star student, may be out being seen, especially if they're taking ACT. Maybe they got their results back and they did really well. The Knight of Swords, rushing in, the Messenger of Truth, or the Knight in Shining Armor, rushing in to justice, divorce, or Libra, destined. Truth over justice. Akashics schooled goose for flapping their wings, cut off at the pass as the world spins. Kids reading books, learning their history about the Sphinx and the angels, and Mother Goose silenced by the Egyptian, or the golden goose got in trouble, Egyptian or Libra, putting an end to the excuses, no longer wanted to hear it. The boy who cried wolf. Stretching the long arm of the law, or in the long stretch, or jury break, rushing in or rushing home, or a Russian. Someone forgot something, and judge, justice, or Libra is waiting for evidence or proof. Proof is in the pudding, and the jury is out. But wait, new evidence just came in. And this may change the story. The goose was told to clam up. Someone's got their attention, and the Sphinx, the judge, the lawyer, the mediator, the Libra, the statue of records, the statute of limitations, being advised by your lawyer not to say anything more, or stunned into submission. Separation came up and let go of control issues. Nightmare on Elm. Film at 11. Cauldron and tripod in the basement or dungeon. Suffering in silence and uncomfortable energies. With the Knight of Swords rushing in with the truth, manifesting the Page of Wands to be inspired or inspiration. Nightmare revealed. What? Who? Where? What? What? The Knight of Swords warrior, cracking the whip with kids, or kids watching too, the Magician and huge sword, and wax trophy wife melting at 309. And that's the Empress and the Hermit at 309. Or unable to get out of this one. So here's the Knight of Swords warrior, cracking the whip with the kids, as the kids watching too, the Magician with a huge sword, and a wax trophy wife melting or unable to get out of this one. So someone maybe got caught in a lie one more time. So they may not be able to get out of it this time or talk their way out of it. Or the divine masculine warrior, his inner child and outer magician suddenly inspired by the frog to prince reference, putting flame aside or grounding it for a second to focus on the Page of Wands or Rapunzel's long hair spiraling down the tower before him. The spiral or knot in the tree, the red shoe on the ground and torch on the grass. That's not the real one. The torch isn't burning the grass, and the shoe is not glass. Have they been duped this whole time? Hours or hairs got their attention, or splitting hairs got their attention, pulling it, dangling it, cutting it. Damn the torpedoes. God forbid, cut her hair. You'll get 30 lashes for it. And it was really interesting this came up because when I was young, I cut my sister's hair. We're 2.5 years apart. And I didn't know my sister's hair had never been cut before. I must have been, I don't know, 10, no more than 12. My sister asked me to cut her hair, so I did. And my mother, when my mother saw my sister after, we put a hairband, made her all look nice. I don't think I was 12. I think I was younger than that. But when I showed her to my mother started cracking up, laughing her ass off. Not at my sister, but she was laughing because she knew that when my dad got home, he was going to beat the crap out of me. Because my mom was laughing because my dad protected me from her. And so when she found this out, she was like happy that my dad was going to be pissed at me. Because he always, tried to protect me from her because she had a really bad temper. So then when I hid in the closet literally for 3 hours that day until my dad got home. Because my dad didn't usually, he wasn't usually hands-on with me. He wasn't home enough, probably enough to be. But he didn't have a temper like my mother did. So he's not someone who, hit me all the time, anything like that. So I hid in the closet for 3 hours. And then when he got home, he did. He pulled me out of the closet and threw me on the bed and he smacked me. So this was literally coming up in the read, this wound, which I didn't forget. It's come up before, but again, have they been duped this whole time? As splitting hairs or hairs got their attention, pulling it, dangling it, cutting it. Damn the torpedoes. God forbid they cut her hair. You'll get 30 lashes for it. Threatening to cut her hair off as a punishment, or for locks of love, or for wanting a lock of her hair. Perhaps someone did spell work with it. Maybe someone got a lock of someone's hair, even a divine feminine, or the karmic asked the divine masculine to get a lock of her hair so she could do spell work with it. And the divine masculine just realized, or was the one who actually did it. Coveting a lock of DNA strand tells the whole story, 14 generations long. This story Rapunzel uses to get her man up the tower to her room. A long and arduous climb, but her DNA is strong and can take it. Or realizing he started to change or transform from the moment he touched her or hugged her and didn't want to let go. And then Ben-Hur came up as the warrior in the chariot. And then my son, what came up for him with that was Julius Caesar and Antony and Cleopatra. But them being in the doghouse, Ben-Hur in the doghouse, or retiring from whipping the horses to get them going again. So tired of being, the person has to whip them into shape all the time. The dog hiding under the table with news of a romance and someone jealous. Or magician's video was released. Perhaps home movies, or someone may have been a porn star or a stripper when they met, or a dominatrix and submissive, or down on all fours, or the meat eaters are stunned that the frog got the girl, or old man with a youngin'. Synchronicities come up at 87, and then healing was beneath that 66, which is the Queen of Pentacles. Or was coming up here too, that perhaps the ex tricked him again into having another sexual reunion. At 3:30 is the Empress, and 30 is the Four of Wands, the Lovers, and the right there I wrote the Lovers, and then my son, I heard him in the other room say, bring down the house. So that was coming up. That was significant. The Five of Wands and the Ten of Cups. The fight with the family and the lovers at 3:30, which is the Empress and the Four of Wands at home, bringing down the house. A fight, conflict, battle, game, or quest. Performance of the Ten of Cups reversed, ending an emotional cycle to come together in joy and celebrate the Queen of Swords upright with the light, suffering in silence, or Rapunzel coming out of the tower, walking away, and within, lover of the beloved. The warrior, a lover, him holding her up for a change. The dolphins are happy, and two are jumping for joy at 3:33. They left the funhouse in search of something more. No more cups all over the yard, or poop not picked up, or punishments locked in their room at 3:36, which is the Empress and the Ten of Wands, the weight of the world upon their shoulders. She did her part, parting her hair to the side of the tower so he could climb her ivory tower at 3:37, which is the Empress and the King of Cups, as he becomes unconditional love, leaving behind the conflict, the suffering, and the emotional cycle of unhappiness or unhappy families for joy and togetherness with the Queen of Swords and light and afternoon delight. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, Hyde, hide and seek, Sikh, to build a close relationship with a God, one with many names, who can be known through meditation. And that was from religionstolerance.org. Men and women sit separately and worship at the doorway to God there. Lovers with a message or bliss and destiny and inspiration and synchronicity. In the recent past is the Three of Pentacles upright, the place of co-creation between divine lovers and the message of love. In state of emergency, broken, broke down, up or through, dissatisfaction in order to allow and receive love from the devil's wave, bringing clarity as to why they are stuck without peace. The Emperor reversed, Angel or Sagittarius, patient with big love at work, and the Queen of Cups reversed, sad and coming clean, and or patient Angel or Sag comes clean. The truth presented from Justice, Judge, Libra, divorce, truth, and balance, and big love presented from Queen of Cups reversed, Capricorn or devilish energy, or so the Divine Masculine thinks they are. Why would he accept love from the Devil Queen of Cups reversed? Well, clearly their clarity wouldn't be truthful if they are the devil. Or Libra is a feminine with Cancer, Moon or Rising, unhappy, and thus presenting the truth. Receiving a love response from the Devil or Capricorn, or the Queen of Cups reversed, or both Capricorn and Sagittarius are coming clean about the Emperor reversed or an Aries reversed without peace. But can they be trusted if they're coming up as the devil? Or Libra, Cancer reversed, and Capricorn and Sagittarius or Aries reversed may be working together. The Queen of Cups reversed offers love along with Capricorn waving hello, and Libra and Cancer reversed not satisfied with love and offering the truth of the matter as opposed to love. The foundation here is ascension, or the world, completion, as defenseless to the energies in a losing battle with the Magician and the sealed divine feminine, or the world, closure, coming full circle, in a divorce, breaking contract, or Taurus reverse, not working or overworking. Pisces, or the world, perhaps ganging up on them, and Taurus reversed, or alternative thinker, or divorce battle overwork a thing of the past, magically not working anymore, healing and forgiving the world and each other. The central energy is the Page of Wands, inspired, masked boy, sharing release from powerlessness, dependence or financial drains, or from their single status, sharing or settling out, and released from those who are not single at 406. So any masculines who are with people who may have not been single, whether in separation or still married, they're like disconnecting from that energy. And 4 and 6 is the Emperor and the Lovers. Or allowing powerlessness to heal themselves. So it's like they're disconnecting from, releasing themselves from those who are not single, as well as allowing people who are powerless, not always trying to save them, allowing them to heal themselves. Strong Leo or ego, or taming the beast, grounding and integrating an offer of love from strong, powerless one who wants to share with him, no longer be alone. The King of Swords upright, grieving, final judgment, destined final offer of love, challenged by the Empress abundant with open heart. The worst is over, a betrayal, as the Queen of Wands undressing in front of the Page of Cups reversed, or revealing herself in front of the Page of Cups reversed, not so innocent after all, or finally found a way to express their innermost feelings. The Ten of Cups reversed cycle is over, and the Knight of Cups offers love to the Queen of Cups reversed in hopes of becoming the King of Cups. Judgment. The King of Swords judgment, announcement, or wake-up call to surrender, and the King of Wands upright disconnect or not seeing eye to eye or face to face, presenting the truth to the Page of Pentacles upright, destined to hurt each other. Perhaps brothers, Leo and Libra. Libra with third party, destined without option, no longer talking to other women about it, or surrendering and pleading guilty. To the Page of Swords, leading on the truth, the Six of Cups, the twins or the kids, or memories of sweet tweets at the gate, or happy to see her arrive at the door, or discussing where to go from here after the worst is over, in sharing sexual energy, or dealing with childhood issues, or hoarding money and feelings, keeping to self. The Page of Cups reversed, perhaps spoiled, or always getting their way, mine, all mine, unhappy emotions, with families so focused on things and money that wouldn't hurt him, or reject him, or dismiss him, so things that would have wounded him in the past. Unable to find peace with the Hierophant reversed, a narcissistic man in his life, or marriage, divorce, or released from prison but not knowing where to go or what to do. And this narcissistic man energy strolls in as the Knight of Cups offering love to his trophy bride, or the Knight of Cups offers love in avoidance of conflict to end the battle because they don't like to fight. The Emperor reversed and the Hierophant reversed, perhaps a father and his brother, the Divine Masculine's uncle perhaps, and the Hierophant reversed always focused on the Emperor's trophy wife, or trophies in general. Or the Taurus reversed and Aries reversed, now the Ten of Wands climbing out of the dark, the basement, or the dungeon to the light, holding back a new life and coming clean, or getting clean, to come in with good news, success, leading the way, back in the saddle, the King of Swords, not in his truth, finding peace and sharing with others, and lovers, and affections. The Knight of Wands, player falling short, or holding back their true desires, and the Dark Knight, transitioning, end, change, or death, or angel being patient, taking one step at a time. Sagittarius and Scorpio and Gemini there, and the King of Wands could be Sagittarius, and the King of Swords reversed could be a Gemini at 437, which is the Emperor, and the King of Cups. The Chariots reversed, yanking the Bull's chain, Bull's split, or Hatari Safari, or Taurus big in Cancer's field. Viral energies in state of emergency, or mash units, or monster mash coming up here at 438, which is the Emperor and the Queen of Cups, burdened by the King of Wands and Taurus and or Cancer hurting each other without options because it was destined. Leaving or leaning on the truth in hopes of surrender to finally lay down and say, I give. Burdened by broken, broke down, up or through, a move or trip canceled, and the King of Wands leaving the truth without option through chaos, truth, and surrender. Coming as a surprise, shocking memories and sweet tweets at the gate, eyes wide shut, grim reaper, reaping grim fairy tales and pulling them in at 443. The birds were tweeting outside, and that's the Emperor and the Three of Cups. Dumping emotional attachments, or dumping syndrome, or dumped lots of times, broke all his illusions of that dream kind of love. Working hard to fix broken things with negative groups and associations, gossip over indulgences, third party, or too much partying, or no socializing at all. Extremes, no, or now woken up to the truth, or rising above the truth to achieve the bliss state, a drug-induced no pain, or acupuncture, or needles, or needlework perhaps, or on pins and needles because they're comfortably numb or dealing with chronic pain issues. The worst over, allowing the swords to fall where they may. Looking back, going back, or living in the past, all about the back pain. Surprised by fond memories and ending emotional or family cycle. Death and love are only a doorway or a gate apart. Thus carried over the threshold. Okay, just taking you over the threshold, taking you from one dimension to another. Jesus' footsteps, carrying the other over the bridge if needed. Help those who can't keep up. Get them across where they can learn to heal themselves there. We carry the sick, the vulnerable, the children, the disabled, but even they must pull their own weight. Everyone has something to contribute, their gifts. Remembering offers of love at the door, getting up before dawn, or death or Scorpio at this last new moon. Release from energetic prison and deception. Cancer reversed, dream state, dream girl, healing, healer, heal her star. Aquarius karmic tie, reaping rewards. No peace with the Hierophant reversed, old man with a beard and cap and trophy. The Knight of Cups coming in for the kill. And then we have Scorpio upright, Cancer reversed, Aquarius upright, grouped perhaps with Virgo and Taurus. Soon is the Two of Wands reversed, no options or chose their path, but they're unable to implement at this time. So here was very cool because it was really rainy all day. At 4:57 today, there was a big thunder and lightning. It was not a thunderstorm. It was just light raining all day long. Out of the blue, we had this huge thunder at 4:57, and then at 4:59, the sun literally just came out. It just, one thunder strike, and then it just disappeared. And it was very interesting because when I was in the south of France on the Mary Magdalene trip, she does a baptism in these streams where the salt water and the fresh water meet, where Mary Magdalene was supposed to do her baptisms. And when I was getting baptized, the same thing happened. One thunderclap happened, but that was the only time. It was very cool. So at 4:57, the thunder came, and then at 4:49, the sun came out really bright and shining. So I ran outside to take a picture because I was hoping to catch a rainbow, but I didn't. But it gets even weirder. So after the sun came out, it was still sprinkling a little bit. And then I looked at my iPad because I had taken it out to take a picture. And it said, the time said 1:58. It was 5:05. I looked at my computer real quick. I'm like, I'm not crazy. The time was not 1:58. I knew it was like 4 or 5 o'clock. The time said 1:58. I took a picture of it so I could prove it, right? And then the time was 5:05 at 1:58. And that was on my iPad. So it was the online time. It was so weird. So there's something major, some kind of timeline shift right there between what did I say? 4:57? Yeah, between 4:57 and 5:05, there was like some kind of timeline jump or shift. It was a very crazy, interesting feeling. So holding back feelings and energetic exchange at home before dawn or early morn or deception. The Fool is free between the Knight of Cups, love, and the Eight of Wands reversed, delays at home. The Queen of Swords speaking to the Queen of Wands, looking the other way, saying talk to the hand, and simultaneously spreading the word. No option but to hold back the energetic exchange, expressing feelings in order to free himself, the worst over of BS of the Queen of Wands. At 5:14, I noticed this black shiny car driving by slowly in front of the house. For some reason, I was guided to write that down at 5:14. Or before dawn, the Queen of Wands telling the Queen of Swords to hold up while she hears what the Page of Swords has to say, assuming the Queen of Swords Cancer is lying and the Page of Swords child is telling the truth. Holding back a new life or playing ball until the trophy wife of the Emperor reversed gets to the bottom of who she will and won't share his penis with. Or the Queen of Wands offering the Emperor reversed to the Queen of Swords, gladly, you can have it. I don't want it. Or she holds the power. No one gets past her. Or the Queen of Wands has been offering sex to the Queen of Swords in a secret romance, behind the Emperor reversed back, or answering his messages for him. The Queen of Wands is also the Queen of Pentacles here, with the Page of Swords child, or treating twins like children. offering a flower to the Page of Swords, and her creativity to the Queen of Swords. Her children, one sweet and one suddenly creative and deceptive, always able to talk her way out of anything. Or the Queen of Wands is coming off as always sweet and giving everything she has to others, her sex and her creativity, her weapons of choice. Or saying, I am his trophy and he is my dick, or my property, my ownership. Or just the Queen of Swords and the Page of Swords both coming at her and at once suddenly, and her saying, hold up, one at a time. Mommy's minions reporting back to her, the Emperor reversed recovering from exile or destitution, injury or illness, dumping any fantasies and illusions, free from drama of queens. He's seeing himself as the Three of Swords, healing, forgiving, dysfunctional family, or loss of finances, allowing the Empress back in, or she is letting go. The Ten of Pentacles reversed, family and or business. The family is like they're trying to get it back into the good graces of the Empress. Coming together at work, rejecting the High Priestess or spoiled Viking princess. No option but the Queen of Pentacles reversed and the King of Wands upright, co-creating with vulnerable secret. No option but to lose money or pay out to keep the enemy closer per Empress. So this is like this ringleader, the Empress energy, which can just be a mother or the business owner, whatever it is like advising people, you know, you keep your friends close, but you keep your enemies closer. It's kind of like that vibe. 534 is the Hierophant, and the 34 is the Eight of Wands. And then we have the children. So for the masculine, children came up, that they're affecting your love life, healing family issues very soon, wedding, this situation involves marriage, and then express your love. Go ahead and make the romantic gesture. No options but to receive those laid off or fired, so allowing them back in the fold, allowing family back in. The Queen of Pentacles reversed, recovering from exile, and the King of Wands and Empress, the ones who put her there. Pisces child, perhaps acting up, or perhaps their golden child, adult, or that secrets make them vulnerable or a liability at work, pulling back in the one or ones that they rejected or kicked out. The Empress, King of Wands, Queen of Pentacles reversed, the High Priestess, and the Page of Cups reversed, and dysfunctional family or family who's lost money, healing and forgiving are needed here. And this could be not just family, but a family, business, or both. Around the Divine Masculine, how he's seen, is the Page of Cups reversed with a closed heart. The Knight of Pentacles moves forward to offer help, to heal, dream, or to an Aquarius to save money for them. And that could be children asking their mom to take their money to help her, or for her to put it in their savings account. While the Page of Cups reversed is pouring their heart out to an Aquarius, the Knight of Pentacles is trying to give Aquarius or Star their money to add to their savings account. So this could be two kids coming up to them. There's two different areas here where there's like two kids trying to get to the mom at once. It can be a dad as well. The masculine is to clear blocks of the Eight of Pentacles, whether it's overworking or not working at all, or bringing people together who won't work. Twins, kids being loving to each other suddenly. Blocks of working things out. How can twins, like kids, suddenly forgive or be best friends? So it's like the masculine can't conceive of the fact that after all that's said and done, that they would ever be forgiven. Or there's someone around the masculine who's saying that's not possible. Green environment, but even more so spirituality and love come up here. Sharing the sadness as well as the good. Getting the short end of the stick, the raw deal. The King of Cups, a loving man who tends to give in because he doesn't like to fight. Or protecting kids from alcoholism in the family. Or the King of Cups doesn't want to be associated with drinking, depression, spying, or cheating, that he is a loving man. Reaping rewards at the E-Tower, the Divine Feminine's heart. Karmic without peace. And the Hierophant reversed or Taurus reversed with two women, and the Knight of Cups offering love to avoid an investigation. The Divine Feminine's heart, and the Queen of Cups reversed without her sunshine, drained, tired, sick and tired of awakening with the King of Cups. or the Queen of Cups reversed is sick of the King of Cups ego and need for attention, or the Queen of Cups reversed is sad and the King of Cups has an idea, or the Queen of Cups reversed and the King of Cups upright are siblings or parent and child taking care of each other, or the Emperor reversed in exile of the family, and the King of Cups and Knight of Cups are actually bonding, perhaps the Divine Masculine understanding his father more now, more like him. Siblings or parents and children comforting each other, perhaps in a division. A child may be psychic who may have been shamed or shunned from the family at 602, which is the Lovers and the High Priestess. Division of the Montagues and Capulets here. 10 of Cups reversed in this read, and 10 of Pentacles was also reversed, the two families. The King of Cups upright and the Queen of Cups reversed. The Knight of Cups offering love to them, especially to the Queen of Cups reversed. The Page of Cups reversed is with the Montagues, with their mother perhaps. The King of Wands on the Empress about letting strays in. See what happens when you bring in those who aren't our kind. The High Priestess and the Empress could be two older sisters and religious, or the Divine Masculine's mother and aunt pushing his partner out of the family, or vice versa. Religious woman protecting the youngest from those who wouldn't believe as they do, perhaps letting the Queen of Pentacles or Queen of Wands back in, or just talking about them as a financial drain, or she has nowhere to go. The King of Pentacles could be a Divine Masculine apart from the Queen of Pentacles reversed, connecting with his Emperor reversed father. Reaping rewards at home, suddenly thunder comes. Sudden flash of hope and surrender. To the Emperor reversed, letting go of control issues and letting the King of Pentacles take over. The Page of Swords message of the Queen of Wands in the past, recovering from exile, and judgment, or a final judgment made, or judgment call, a wake-up call. Messages or news around the world of completion, closure, full circles, ascension to heal and forgive. The Page of Cups reversed, the rejected and vulnerable, unable to open their hearts. Coming together to co-create. The Page of Wands inspired and challenged by the Empress, or abundance. Without options, not working, climbing out of a hole to see the Divine Feminine's heart at the E-Tower. A message at work of lovers' affections, ascending and inspired and challenged by the Empress, or abundance. To hard work, to get to the light and heal, without option. The Page of Cups reversed, rejected, vulnerable, and not working or overworking. Suddenly gathering at the E-Tower, or sudden intervention. As thunder rolls in, a star of hope, an island unto himself, opens the sky to surrender, and the Emperor relinquishing his false hand to, or becoming, the King of Pentacles at 620. So that's the Lovers and the Final Judgment. Well, all I can tell you in my situation is the hand came down today, not in my favor. But that is okay. It is what it is. Let's see. I'm just going to pull a quick card for you, Oracle card-wise, because it's getting late. And let's see what we have. I'll just give you a... I'm just going to do the Animal Tarot, and I'll do the Energy deck as well, okay? So for everybody watching, the best and highest good of all those concerned, what do we need to know? What do we need to learn? And let's clear all negative energies, all dark energies, all viral energies across all dimensions of time, space, matter, and realities for the highest good of all those concerned, and fill that empty space with only beautiful love and diamond crystalline light. And so it is. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, this is for the Animal deck. And this read will be good for the 30th to the 31st. One more shuffle. All right, what is our energies? What was the point of this read? What is our takeaway? What do you want us to know? All right, a few cards came out here, but the bottom of the deck is the Prince of Summer. Romantic, flirtatious, introspective, and enchanting. The Frog. A deeply emotional and probably romantic experience will sweep you off your feet. Things can move very quickly during such whirlwind encounters, so stay balanced and make decisions with both your heart and your intellect. Okay, and definitely the Frog Prince came up in the read today. So that's the underlying energies. And then these three cards came up. So we have the Wheel, which is the reindeer or caribou. Expect a sudden positive change in your life. You can now move forward and make great progress. All right, and this is, we're already in, let's see what time, it's 12:28 here. So we're into the 31st. Okay, so this read is definitely for the 31st. The second card here is the Prince of Autumn. Trustworthy, dedicated, protective, and funny. The Seahorse. It's important to make a detailed plan before starting any new endeavor. Once you have that plan in place, then you can take immediate action and get as much accomplished as possible. And then we have the Empress, number 3, which is the Empress. The Angora Rabbit. It's time to hop into action. Use your natural creativity to bring forth prosperity and success in your life. So let's see here. And by the way, this is a pear tree. A pear tree. I actually have a little pear tree. It's not a real pear tree, but it's a cute little pear tree. And I have little like Christmas ornaments, but they're musical instruments that I have hung on there, and some little crystals. So the wheel is number 10, the seahorse, which doesn't have a number on it. But it's like the seahorse is surrounded with coins. And what are coins doing in the bottom of the ocean, right? We have the pear tree with the caribou. And it's like, it always reminds me of like Adam and Eve. It's like, you know, telling the other one to pick one up and eat it. Give it a try. Don't be such a coward. Oh, and Kentucky Fried Chicken came up in the read too. So give it a try. Take a bite. You know, live a little. That's what they're saying. So we got the seahorse with money, the caribou with fruit, and the rabbit with a couple bugs. They're butterfly and another kind of bug. I don't know if it's another butterfly. But the bunny has a heart around their neck. And they're by a lake. It's like 3 totally different scenes. One is totally like in the country, right? This one's under the sea, right? And then this one is by a lake, a very serene place, calm. But they're all calm. They're all very passive energies, as I cough. Okay, so Wheel of Fortune and the Empress, which is all about Gaia and abundance as well, the earth. We have the green and the purple here, which is all about the heart and the third eye. And don't forget the frog was the underlying energy smiling at me here with his little magic wand. Yeah. I'm getting like the greasy wheel here. Turns like the Wheel of Fortune, but like the early bird catches the worm. That's the energy I'm getting from it. And it is spring, so, and it's that Aries energy as well. And you notice that this is very passive energy, which is un-Aries like at all. And the frog, which is not even moving. There's no like Aries action energy. So what is actually coming up from the energy deck here? Deck, what is our guidance here? Well, three cards came in out, 3 decks may be coming up. Healer of the Ages is the underlying energy, 51, the King of Swords. So that's the masculine energy. And the 3 cards that came up are the 33, the Door to Romance, getting out of the cage, allowing the heart to open again. The 12 of the Temple Path, and hostilities. So there's a lot of anger and frustrations that need to come out. We have the 33 of the Christ vibration, standing up for yourself, is the 7 of Wands. The 12 is the Hangman, of course, and then the 26 is the Page of Wands, but this is like a reverse page because they're frustrated. There's hostilities coming up. So let's see here. And it looks like, see, he looks like he's got steps right behind him. It's kind of like mimicking these steps. Like you can't get up there, or you can't come through my bridge until you pass my test, or you answer some questions first. Yeah, he's definitely screening people before they come through. The door to romance is the temple path. It's very interesting too in the hostilities card, because there's a person here that he is screening, but he's looking straight forward at you. So when he's showing his hostilities to this guy, he's looking at you. Are you listening? Are you listening to how this process works? You have to get past my screening test before you can come into my temple. And it's very interesting that he's holding up a cross-like sword, and yet we have a temple as well. So there may be some conflicts of religion there. And then, of course, in the door to romance, the bird is missing. Where's the bird? And do you have the key to the heart? Do you have the key to the cage? So he's referencing to his heart as a cage. So he needs to get that cage off of his heart. So some of you may want to do some Reiki work and see if you see any devices or anything, any kind of hooks or anything in the masculine that need to go, or within your own heart as well. The temple path. And again, Thomas Kincaid comes up here, okay? Because it's very much about his famous painting. It's like, you know, you have to pay when you cross a bridge. It's the same type of thing. But you don't have to pay, you have to pass his test first to get across his bridge, to get into his heart. You have to answer the questions correctly with the right key codes or passwords. Okay. I'll give you a Kipper deck card really quickly. And then I'm going to go. One more card. What is our advice? What is our advice? What is our advice? Okay, adjudication. Again, there's some kind of legal or moral judgment going on. To catch a thief, I was just getting. Of high honor. Maybe somebody values someone who has thief-like qualities, right? Because they can get people to their way of thinking. And it was coming up in the read that the Queen of Wands was proud of the child who has her creativity and her way of talking people into anything they want, which is manipulation. Okay, so it's a form of thievery, right? So somebody might have gotten caught too, to catch a thief. Someone of high honor may have been arrested for lying, cheating, or stealing. And then there's a mature woman involved as well, so it could be her. Over the message of concern. Okay. Number 14. The bottom of the deck is courtship. From distant horizons, no water to ground or anchor into. The mature man. The mature man is up in the air. He's not grounded. He needs to ground with emotions. Okay, he's too much in his head, and in order to do this courtship thing. Okay, and again, there's an illusion or deception here. Both wearing masks. You don't know who to believe. So how do you know who to believe? He's up in the air, nowhere to ground. He needs more emotional waters that are grounded. So in the spring, lots of water in the land in order to get through a courtship situation. Okay, guys, I'll show you the cards real quick, and I'll let you go. All right, the underlying energies, the Page of Swords or Seeker of Orbs. The recent past is the Three of Crystals or Three of Pentacles. The foundation is the Ascension card with the clarifiers. In the middle of the read is the Seeker of Flames. It's hard to see it. It's pretty covered. And the challenge being the Empress, or the abundance card. The other underlying energies, you see the Lovers there. And then crowning is the 10 of Wands, upright. Scrolling over the 4D bridge to the 2 of Flames, which was reversed in this read. And then the masculine sees himself as the 3 of Orbs, upright today. And around him, or how he's seen, is the Page of Cups reversed. The blocks he needs to clear has to do with the 8 of Crystals working, or what's not working. I think it was reversed. Yeah. So overworking or not working at all, or just letting go of things that aren't working. And then we end up with environment, that green environment in purple and blue, the throat and the third eye chakras, as well as the heart. And we end up there at the E Tower, which is the Divine Feminine's heart, also reaping rewards of the Tower, full force coming in with that lightning strike today. And then the 4 of Cups, and then the 2 of Pentacles, which is like a surrender in this deck. And then the Emperor, or the Reason card, is last with the King of Pentacles on top. And there's the, again, blue and purple energies and the underlying energies as well. The throat and third eye, but getting more into the heart today. So there needs to be some heart clearing, some blocks that are in the heart. Okay, guys, make sure, take care of yourselves. Drink your water and rest. Rest from me. I can't even speak anymore. Drink your water, get your rest, get your joy, get your nature, guys, and rise and be loved. Okay, bye.